The bottom line on nuclear weapons is that when the president gives the order, it must be followed. There's about 4 minutes between the order being given and the people responsible for launching nuclear weapons to do so.
Okay, listen to you goddamn dumbasses in Congress. Islands don't float, and you cannot shoot down the Russian aircraft in a sovereign country they were invited into on their doorstep while they're fighting Al-Qaeda. And yesterday, towards the end of the broadcast, before I handed the baton to Paul Watson, I just mentioned to Congressman Hank Johnson, who thought that Guam, one of the main military base islands the U.S. has in the Pacific.
My fear is that the whole island will become so overly populated that it will tip over and capsize.
We don't anticipate that. The Guam population, I think, currently about 175,000, and again, with 8,000 Marines and their families, it's an addition of about 25,000 more into the population.
The whole island will become so overly populated that it will tip over.
All right, that's enough. And I mentioned that because I thought it was parallel to what other members of Congress were asking the Joint Chiefs of Staff chairman a few weeks ago about, can't you just shoot down the Russian airplanes with cruise missiles? That way none of our pilots get hurt. And they go, excuse me, but then they're going to retaliate against us. And they get, but we won't have any pilots in the air. It'll be cruise missiles. There's like an hour-long hearing, and the general keeps looking at them and like, you know, like a cat looking at a fish in a fishbowl. It's like, really? I mean, what are you doing? What are you? Are you a man? Are you a mouse? Are you a goldfish? U.S. Army chief threatens war with Russia. Okay, we played that clip yesterday. We're going to play it again. He says this is going to be as big a war as World War II, and we're being maneuvered into the position, so I just want Russia to know we're ready for war with you, since Russia's having nuclear drills and says they're prepared for war. And the Pentagon demands no-fly zone over Russia, and the chairman of the Joint Chiefs said, okay, yes, we can shoot down, because they're telling him in the longer clip, well, listen, so our pilots don't get hurt, can't we just shoot them down with cruise missiles? And the general goes, yeah, but then we'll have to go to war with Russia. They're going to retaliate. And then and Republicans and Democrats for like an hour ago, but because they all want a war. That's what real patriots do. You know, you go start a war, especially when you're in the wrong. And they go, but we've got thousands of shipborne launched and aircraft launched cruise missiles in the area. We'll shoot down all the Russian planes. And the chairman keeps looking at him going, yeah, but we'll have to go to war with Russia. So I don't have the authorization for that. So you're telling me, and basically Obama has given the order 4 years ago, and they're still giving it, to shoot down any aircraft in the air, including Russian. And the military keeps not following the order because they want the order, attack Russia. Attack Russian aircraft. And you know what? I think if they get that order, they'll probably do it from the commander-in-chief, even though he's not the commander-in-chief and they shouldn't. But that's the point we've gotten to with, they're not even operating one-dimensional. One-dimensional. They're not even at the level of checkers, folks. They're not at the level of kindergarten connect the dot. And when I say that, I don't mean that to insult them. I mean literally. They think islands are floating. They think you shoot down a couple hundred Russian aircraft. The first one you shoot down, Russia's going to run to the UN. And there's going to be all sorts of sanctions and flipping out. The second one you shoot down, Russia's going to tell you, we're going to fire our hypersonic missiles that go 4,000 miles an hour at your ships launching aircraft the next time you enter the airspace, the next time a missile enters. Then more missiles enter. Russians attack with conventional ship killers, knocking out a U.S. aircraft carrier in the Mediterranean. Then more attacks on Russian bases. Next, the Russians roll into Europe. NATO has said they will launch short-range and intermediate-range nuclear weapons onto those armored columns coming into Eastern and Western Europe. Boom! ICBMs get launched by Russia or by the U.S. Everybody's dead. Okay? Listen to you goddamn dumbasses in Congress. Islands don't float, and you cannot shoot down the Russian aircraft in a sovereign country they were invited into on their doorstep while they're fighting al-Qaeda, murdering Christians by the hundreds of thousands. You can't do it.
And praising Vladimir Putin and blasting Hillary Clinton for insulting the Russian President. Trump is also raising eyebrows for suggesting he'd meet with Putin before taking office if he wins the election next month. Our Brian Todd has been tracking reaction to Trump's comments. Brian's joining us now with the latest. What are you learning?
Well, tonight, Wolf, Donald Trump is being roundly criticized for that idea to meet with Putin before he takes office. The Clinton campaign dismissing Trump as a cheerleader for Putin. President Obama has weighed in, but Trump is holding firm tonight, saying he can fix a relationship with Russia that's been broken by Clinton and Obama. Donald Trump pushing hard on one of his most controversial ideas, his embrace of Vladimir Putin. Trump tells radio host Michael Savage Hillary Clinton shouldn't be talking so tough about Russia, and says if he's elected, he'd do something never seen before.
I think I could see myself meeting with Putin and meeting with Russia prior to the start of the administration.
It's a slap in the face to Obama, to Hillary, and of course, frankly, to many Republicans. I mean, it's long been a part of the Republican platform to be so skeptical of Russia.
In a statement today, Hillary Clinton's campaign said she would stand up to the Russian president and, quote, not coddle him. The Obama administration directly blames Russia for the hacking of the Democratic Party, and Trump's been blasted for encouraging it.
As president, I will make it clear that the United States will treat cyber attacks just like any other attack. We will be ready with serious political, economic, and military responses.
They're voting for peace on planet Earth if they vote for Trump. But if they vote for Hillary, it's war.
We came, we saw, he died.
With her, you'll end up in World War III.
I want the Iranians to know that if I'm the president, we will attack Iran.
Right now, Senator, for us to control all of the airspace in Syria would require us to go to war against Syria and Russia.
The U.S. military has just raised the threat level to DEFCON 2. Meanwhile, Hillary Clinton is still threatening Russia with military action following unconfirmed reports of further hacking. It's like she's not even concerned about the repercussions.
Of course not,
guys.
because she's...
Look, there's a really loud noise.
All right, looks like we're having a little bit of technical difficulties. We'll try to get Leanne back on in a few minutes.
When the president gives the order, it must be followed.
Roger.